So chapter 32 verse 1, so Yaakov, Jacob, went on his way, and the angels of God met him. It's a good start, this. When Yaakov saw them, he said, this is God's camp. And he called the name of that place Machanayim, which is the plural for camps. Does anyone know where you see that word again in the Bible? Machanayim. No, it's in the Song of Songs, isn't it? Or some Bibles might not say it, Machanayim, but it's in the side column. And it's in the Song of Songs, chapter 6, so let's just read that. The Song of Songs, chapter 6, is where you see this name again. The Song of Songs, chapter 6. And then it's at the end of chapter 6. It's lovely. Verse 13. Return. Same word for repent. Teshuv. Come back. That's what repent means. Come back. Come back to God's ways. Return, O Shulamite. Return, that we may look upon you. Then the Shulamite replies, what would you see in the Shulamite? As it were, the dance of the two camps. That's the word, Machanayim. And this is what the Shulamite's saying to the beloved. What would you see in me? One who was danced in two camps. One who has one foot in the world and one foot in the kingdom. What would you see in me? And that's the beauty of this. The word is, come back. Come back, O Shulamite. Return. And then look what it says in chapter 7. How beautiful are your feet in sandals, O prince's daughter. And then it goes on to describe how beautiful the beloved sees this bride, sees this one who has been in two camps. It applies to a lot of us, doesn't it? You know, having one foot in the world doesn't mean that you bang bad loads of sin, but just having a worldly outlook, having a worldly mindset. Two camps. So that's just, by the by. Back to the portion. Then, verse 3, Yaakov sent messages before him to Esau, his brother, in the land of Seir, the country of Edom. So we've established this a couple of weeks ago. It was very clear, wasn't it? This Esau came out of the womb first. He was called Esau because he was very hairy. But then his name got changed, didn't it? His name got changed to Edom. And why did it get changed to Edom? Because was he a man of the world? Well, yeah, it was. The reason he became Edom is because he's a man of the world. But the actual incident wasn't it? When he was coming back from the field. The field's a picture of the world, isn't it? Yeshua said the field is the world. In the parable of the sows, the tares and the wheat. Yeshua said that the field is the world. So Esau was a man of the world, but it was when he came out of the field and he was famished, wasn't he? And Jacob was making red stew, and Esau sold his birthright. This is what the word says. He sold his birthright. He gave up the firstborn birthright for some red stuff, and therefore his name became Edom. Red, but we said the other week it's like got the same letters in it as Adam. He's a man of the world. He is Esau. I've made my mind up. God hates Esau. That's what it says. He hates Esau, and that's because God knows Esau, and God knows the end from the beginning, and God knows the decisions Esau will make. This is what it's about. Esau, it says in the New Testament, that's what we go by, the commentary the New Testament gives us, and Esau despised his birthright, and he was a profane man. This is what the Bible says. So we shouldn't have any sympathy for Esau. We should have sympathy for anyone that's in this condition, but we shouldn't go, oh, poor Esau, because Esau had every chance. No one forced Esau to do what he did. He chose to do what he did. And normally we read the prophet's portion here, but we're not going to have time today, so I'll just mention it. It's Obadiah. Obadiah is the prophet's portion. It's one chapter, and it's a very heavy chapter, because it's all about the end time judgment on Esau, on Edom. It's all about that. You keep seeing Edom, 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 and Edom is a picture of the world, and we'll see that today a bit more clearly today, and we'll go back over things we've mentioned in the last few weeks about. Remember someone said, how do you know it was an extortionate price when Abraham bought the land, the grave, the burial site for Sarah, and he had to pay, how much was it? 400 shekels. 400. And then we see in Genesis 15 when God said to Abraham, your seed is going to be in a land that's not theirs, and they're going to be oppressed for how long? 400 years. So 400 is a very biblical number, all to do with the world. 4 corners of the earth, you see. 400. Esau today will come with 400 men. And it's a picture of the end time showdown that Obadiah explains. So we haven't got time to read Obadiah, but you should want to go home now and read Obadiah today, because it's a picture of who Esau becomes. We won't have time again probably to go to the last chapter, so I'll just do it now. Chapter of today's portion, the last chapter is chapter 36, and it's a full chapter which is worth reading. I've probably never read it so much as I have this week, of looking at the detail and seeing what God's showing us here, that this Edom starts this confederacy of nations. A whole host of nations come forth from Edom, and from the Canaanite wives that he marries, and the daughter of Ishmael that he marries, and one of the most terrible peoples on the planet Earth come out of this man, come out of this fella. And it's in chapter 36, and it's in verse 16, well, verse 15. These were the chiefs of the sons of Esau. The sons of Eliphaz, the firstborn son of Esau, were Chief Teman, Chief Omar, Chief Zepho, Chief Kenaz, Chief Korah, Chief Gatam, and Chief Amalek. Amalek is the one that God said, blot out his name from under heaven. I will have war from him within, from one generation to the next. Amalek's the one who came out against Israel when they came from out of Egypt and were in the wilderness. And who was waiting for them? Amalek. And who did Amalek attack? All the weak at the back. This is Amalek. He's horrible. It's Esau's grandson. God knows these people. God knows what these people will be like. Read Obadiah and the indictment against Edom, which is just a picture of the world. I mean, if you ask a Jewish person today who Edom is, they'll tell you quite clearly it's Rome. They'll just say it's Rome. Esau's Rome. Esau is Rome. Rome is the world. You know, that's going to be the end time government, isn't it, of the Antichrist. It's going to be a revival of the Roman Empire. Edom is Rome in the Jewish mindset. It's the enemy of God, the enemy of the plans of God. Edom. So I have no sympathy for this man at all. So verse 3, Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau his brother. They've been separated for 20 odd years now. That's clear from last week's portion when Jacob said to Laban, I've served you now for 20 years, 14 years for your wife, for my wives, and 6 years for the cattle. 20 years Jacob has been serving Laban. We mentioned a couple of weeks ago, very clearly, very clear, no one could really argue with it, but when Jacob left his home, when Jacob left Isaac and Rebekah, Esau wanted to kill him. That was clear, wasn't it? Esau said, my dad's going to be dead soon, and then I'm going to kill Jacob. He's robbed my birthright. Liar, he didn't rob his birthright. Didn't rob his birthright, did he? He said, sell me. And Esau went, sell me, yeah. What's the point in this birthright? What's the point in spiritual things? I'm not interested in spiritual things. I'm just after feeding my belly. It talks about it in Philippians, people whose God is their belly. It's talking about people like Esau. Jacob didn't rob the birthright. He bought it with some red stew. And Esau sold it for some red stew. That's why I become Edom. So they've been apart for 20 years now. And Jacob's coming back to the land, and he sends messengers to Esau, and he commanded them in verse 4, saying, "Speak thus to my lord Esau, thus your servant Jacob," Yaakov says, "I have dwelt with Laban and stayed there till now. I have oxen, donkeys, flocks, and male and female servants, and I have sent to tell my lord that I may find favour in your sight." Then the messengers returned to Yaakov, saying, "We came to your brother Esau, and he is also coming to meet you, and 400 men are with him." I mean, that's a crew, that's a big firm in them days. And 400 men is 4 corners of the earth. 400 shekels of silver, 400 years. It's a worrying number in that respect, isn't it? 400, it's a sign, because 400 is the final letter of the Hebrew alphabet, isn't it? Tav. Tav is a sign. Tav is the shape of a cross. It's a sign number. And this is the last letter in the Hebrew alphabet. It's an end time message. Edom is going to come against Israel. There's just no two ways about it. Edom meant being the leader, if you like, or the name of this confederacy of nations, mix of all kinds, the whole world. Europe is coming against Israel, isn't it? Thank the Lord, thank you, Yah, that this country will come out of Europe. Thank you, because Europe this week have said that they want to recognise the Palestinian state. Yeah, are you glad not to be part of that? Are you glad not to be part of that? Because they're making themselves an enemy of the Most High.
Yes, that's right.
They're coming against the plans of the Almighty. Bless Israel, and you'll be blessed. Curse Israel, and you'll be cursed. You've got to be some sort of idiot to curse Israel. You've got to be some sort of nutcase to stand against the plans of God.
Yes.
You have, haven't you?
Yes.
Where the world are. The United Nations are demented. Edom, 400 men. It's the UN. This is the United Nations coming out to beat Israel. It's the end time message.
Steve, I heard again on one of the commentaries that the Liberal Party had that fellow from Europe talking about the European army. They was cheered to the rafters.
Yeah, no, these people are crazy. They are crazy people. We should be concerned. We should pray for these people. We should do what Jacob's doing here, you see. He's going, look, peace. I just want peace. How many sheep do you want? How many goats do you want? I've got loads. I want peace. I just want peace. Blessed are the peacemakers. Jacob's just going to leave this to the Lord. It's like, I'm on it. He's blessed, Jacob. So, I mean, when I've read my notes, I've been arguing with your notes, going, don't agree with that. Don't agree with that. Over the years, as I've been reading this and studying it in different commentaries, and it's so tainted, the picture we've been given of Jacob. A lot of us have believed Esau. When Esau's gone, hey, he's a liar, Dad. He's supplanted me twice. It's like, he's a liar. Esau's a liar. Don't listen to him. Jacob's not a liar. Jacob is perfect according to the Bible. You can argue if you like and go, I don't know. It's like, well, you've got to remember what we read the other week, and it said Jacob is a perfect man. Doesn't mean he's the finished article. Doesn't mean he hasn't got a few things to go through, have a few edges to be knocked off him. He got him. But in the eyes of the Lord, he's perfect. He's a perfect man. I see his heart. Might have to change a few things. Might have to have a bit of a wrestle with him.
Isn't that commentary from God saying he's a perfect man because of the covenant that he's in?
Yeah.
Same as Israel.
Yeah.
There's no iniquity in Israel.
I knew you were going to say that.
Of the cross.
I knew you were going to say that, because that is exactly what's being said here. God sees. He sees. He's seen all of us and went, I know you're going to accept me. I know when it says, will you take this man to be your lawful wedded husband? You'll go, amen. I will. I am so glad to be taking that man to be my husband. You know you will. And he knows the people that will go, oh, I'm not laughing at you. not interested in all that religion. He knows he's not God if he doesn't know. He is the beginning and he's the end. He knows. He's not willing for any to perish. But no one forced, no one put a gun to Esau's head and said, hey, sell your birthright. No one forced them. No one's going to force these people to do what they do. They take it upon themselves to invite these European people over, to rally them up. They love it.
They love the world.
They love the world, and we should have compassion for these people. We should want to rescue as many as we can, and we should be like Jacob that sends messengers of peace.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing here. So he says, so verse 7, Jacob was greatly afraid, not knowing it, being honest here, that's what Jacob's doing here. He was greatly afraid and distressed, and he divided the people that were with him, and the flocks and the herds and the camels into 2 companies. Machanayim, it's this place of, Shulamite, come back. Come back. Yeah. How could you look at me who's danced for 2 camps? How could you look at me? 1 minute, I'm terrified, I'm fearful. How could you look at me? God can. He knows who it is. And this is what's happening. Jacob's not afraid to say, look, I'm terrified here. Yeah. The whole world is coming against me here. Esau and 400 men are waiting to have me here. I can't remember why you said last week, but George said last week, to be mentioning number 17 last week, but George said, and he's right to say this, that the number 17 is the number of victory. Yeah. So can't you remember why he said that? No, I can't, but you did say it, didn't you?
Yes, yeah.
If anyone that could remember, George went, 17, that's the number of victory. Well, if you count up the people here, you got Jacob, he got his 2 real wives and his 2 other wives, that's 5 of them, and he's got 11 sons and Dina. There's 17 of them. There's 17 of them against this 400 strong worldwide army. Yes. 17 is the number of victory. Amen. But Jacob's got to learn these things. He's terrified. He's terrified and greatly distressed. And he said, if Esau comes to the one company and attacks it, then the other company which is left will escape. It's a terrible scenario, this, isn't it? Then Jacob said, this is what you've got to do. When you're afraid and you're greatly distressed, don't pretend that you're not. Don't put a brave face on it and go, I'm walking by faith. No, be honest. This is what Jacob is. He's honest and he says, oh God of my father Abraham and God of my father Isaac, Yahovah, he knows his name, Yahovah, who said to me, return to your country and to your family, and I'll deal well with you. Amen. I am not worthy of the least of them all the mercies and of all the truth which you have shown your servants. For I crossed over this Jordan with my staff, and now I have become Machanayim, I have become 2 companies. Deliver me, I pray, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau, for I fear him, lest he come and attack me and the mother, just one of them, and the mother with the children. For you said, not long ago doing this, I will. Yeah, there's that prayer Yeshua told us to pray. You pray this way, your will be done, Lord. Amen. Your will be done. So that's what we've been doing, haven't we? Go, whatever we see, go, I will. Underline it and go, that's the will of God. Whether it's to Abraham, Isaac and Jacob saying, I will bless you and I will make you a great nation, that's his will. Amen. It is. Or whether it's Ezekiel 35, what Jeff read the other week, 35 times in Ezekiel 35 or something, what God will do to the enemies of Israel, how God will establish this new covenant, how God will give you a new heart, that's his will.
Yeah, and 35 in the book is hope, a certain hope.
Okay,
yes, so
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Where's 35?
Yeah, 35, yeah.
Okay. So anytime you see I will, it's God's will. And Yaakov here is telling God his will back. He said, you told me, I will deal well with you. He said, deliver me, I pray, for I fear him. For you said, verse 12, I will surely treat you well and make your descendants as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for multitude. That's a great thing to do. If you're in fear or you're greatly distressed, pray.
Yeah.
to the God of Abraham, the God of our father Isaac, the God of our father Jacob, and say, Lord, you said that you'll bless me, you said that you'll never leave me or forsake me. You said, Lord, and look at all it. You'll deal with it. You can't bury it, you can't pretend, you can't brag it. You've got to pray and get real with God and say, I'm fearful here, Lord. And then you'll be able to come out of it going, I'm not afraid anymore. Trust him, George. Trust him in everything. So verse 13, so we lodged there that night, that same night. Remember what time of day this is? What time of day is this? Night. What would that be? Dark outside, yeah. So he came that night and took what came to his hand as a present from Esau, his brother. 200, I mean, get on this, 200 female goats. It's a lot of goats, this. 200 female goats and 20 male goats, so it's obviously 20 female goats to 1 male. That's obviously the mate arrangements. It's given like a, this is like a farm. 200 goats, female goats, 20 male goats, 200 ewes and 20 rams, 30 camels with their colts, 40 cows and 10 bulls, 20 female donkeys and 10 foals. I mean, that's a lot of animals. If you just picture that, that's a lot of animals. Jacob, when he left Laban, had loads of animals. He's given 200 goats and all the rest of it. Imagine what he had.
He must have had people looking after them there.
Yeah, I'm talking about his family of 17, maybe servants, this, that, the other, no problem with that. I'm just saying that the names that we've got, the people that are mentioned, we know that there's a family of 17 people here that God's looking after. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, this is a ridiculous amount of animals, isn't it, that he's offering as a gift out of his wealth that he's got. Peace offering. He knows what makes Esau tick, you see. It's like Esau just wants the world. He's just interested in prosperity. So give him some bless him, peace offering. So he says, then he delivered in verse 16 to the hand of his servants, that's what you're saying, Joe, every drove by itself, and said to his servants, pass over before me and put some distance between successive droves. And he commanded the first one, saying, when he saw my brother meet you and ask you, saying, to whom do you belong and where are you going, whose are these in front of you, then you shall say, they are your servants, Jacob. It's a present sent to my lord Esau, and behold, he also is behind us. So he commanded the second, the third, and all who followed the drove, saying, in this manner you shall speak to Esau when you find him, and also say, behold, your servant Yaakov is behind us. He is coming. For he said, I will appease him with the present that goes before me, and afterwards I will see his face. Perhaps he will accept me. So the present went on over before him, but he himself lodged that night in the camp. So what time of day is it? Night. It's dark out. And that's important because of this next bit we're going to get to now. So just help me now, Lord, to communicate this correctly in Yeshua's name. Amen. Because this is powerful. This is the wrestling with God now. And this takes me back. This is the portion where we started. This is our 6th year now. 6th year of doing the Torah together. And we started 6 years ago with this portion. And I was just getting all ready for it. And it was like, the wrestling with God. I was getting myself all psyched up and everything, going, oh God, I'm going to wrestle now, praying in tongues and everything, getting all ready for this time of deep tears, I thought it would be, and beating myself up. Oh, I'm terrible. Oh Lord, I was just bracing myself for it. And as I got ready to enter the ring to do battle, God just broke my heart and completely melted me. And I just thought, God, I just did not expect this at all, because I realised this wrestling now, take the W off, and it's wrestling, like your name, isn't it? Is rest with a W, Michael, rest with a W, but it sounds like rest, and it's like a little, you like to play on words, and this is like an English play on words, to help, well, it helped me, and hopefully it'll help you, that this wrestling now, it's entering his rest. And what God did to me, I thought he was going to beat me up and go, you're terrible, and you've done this, and yeah, and I was expecting God to batter me, but he didn't. He loved me. He loved me to tears and brokenness, and going, oh wow, he just loved me. I was telling me, oh, I love you, I accept you. I was coming back from the wilderness. I'd been out of the fellowship for years. I'd been living a horrible life, and so I was coming back into the things of God and expecting to really get battered. But he battered me with love and really ministered to me. I love you. I accept you.
The grace of God beyond degree.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Jacob is going to change now to Israel, but there's nothing wrong with Jacob.
No.
He was a perfect man. We all need to get born again. We all need to go through that. But God's, like Ray's saying, he sees us. He sees us in the Messiah. He sees us as finished and complete and perfect. As he is, so are we, it says. That's a hard one from 1 John, but that's what it says. As he is, so are we in this world. That's God's way of looking at it. Well, that's what the wrestle's about. We've got to start getting God's perspective on it. We've got to have this conversation with God when he goes, who are you? I'm going to show you who you are. And you only find this out through wrestling with the word. And wrestling with my old man was crucified with the Messiah, whether you think I was or not. Whether I think I was or not, I was. Because of my confession of faith in the Messiah, he sees me and you as in the Messiah. Amen. As complete in him, as perfect in him. We've got a few things to deal with. Definitely got a few things to deal with me. But from God's perspective, he sees no sin in Israel. That's what he says in it. I observe no sin in Israel. I just see the cross. So just to help you understand this wrestling, it's so intimate to me that God wrestles with us to show us how much he loves us, to set us free from ourselves. Yeah? And there's a gospel message in this now. You'll love this, I hope. So verse 22, Jacob arose that night and took his 2 wives, his 2 female servants, and his 11 sons, because he hasn't had Benjamin yet. You'll have Benjamin in this portion later, and crossed over, oh, I forgot about this, the ford of, what's that say? Yabok, isn't it? Have you ever thought of that? Yeah. No, I haven't, till this week. And because I read Hebrew now, do Hebrew, and I was reading it, going, wow, it's the same letters that as Jacob. Yabok, think about it. Yabok, Yabok, Jacob. It's the same. It's the same letters as Jacob's name here. Jacob's going to go to a wrestling minute and have his name changed. Well, here's a foretaste. Yabok is a mixture of letters. It's like his name's getting mixed around. And then when you go to the next layer, I don't know if you're doing it, if you go into Yabok and then go into the root of it, the root of the word Yabok, you'll really see what it means. The root of the word Yabok is to empty out, to pour out yourself. That's what's going on here. Yeah, Jacob is going to pour himself out. He's going to empty himself now. He's going to wrestle all night. He's going to be lame at the end of it, but he will be blessed at the end of it. Yabok, that's a rearrangement of his name. It's a foretaste of what's to come. God's going to change his name now. Our names are already being changed, we just need to understand what they are. So, Yabok, he crossed over the ford of Yabok. He took them, sent them over the brook, and sent over what he had. Then Yaakov was left alone. And a man wrestled with him until the breaking of day. That is very important. Now when he saw that he did not prevail against him, the man, the angel, touched the socket of his hip. I was looking at that before, what you did, I thought that was the wrestle on the news sheet you did, of these two here. That's Jacob and Esau kissing each other, isn't it? Embracing each other. I thought that was a picture of the wrestle, because wrestling, you can get a few warped ideas of wrestling, and have an image of these fellas rolling around on the floor, and all of that. And you know, that MMA that you've got now. I mean, when we were kids, you used to have it on a Saturday afternoon, the wrestling on ITV, and Big Daddy it was, wasn't it? Big Daddy on Giant Haystack, so it wasn't that sort of wrestle. You know, Jacob wasn't standing on the ropes doing a Big Daddy splash. There wasn't that sort of wrestling. And it wasn't this MMA stuff. It was more, you know, the way sumo wrestlers, they grapple above. They're not rolling all over the floor trying to get them in half Nelsons and submissions. That's not the Middle Eastern form of wrestling. Think more of men standing upright. It's about getting your opponents out the ring or on the floor. And that's the wrestling here. Because I've always had this image of rolling around on the floor. It's not the Middle Eastern style of wrestling. It's more like that picture, which is a picture of the kissing but holding each other. And you'll see why I'm saying this now, how this wrestling comes to an end, you see. When he realised he couldn't prevail against him, what did he do? He touched the socket of his hip, and the socket of Jacob's hip was out of joint as he wrestled with him. So you get the picture now. You can't get him down. He touches his hip, and Jacob collapses to the floor because he can't support his weight anymore. His weight's gone from under him. He can't stand upright anymore. Now he's on the deck. But what happens? Try and see the picture of this. A man on the floor holding out, and he said, "Let me go, for the day breaks." What's that got to do with it? I think it was some sort of vampire or something. Let me go, for the day breaks. But he said, Yaakov said, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." So get the picture. He's defeated on the floor, but somehow he's still got hold of his foot.
He won't let go.
He won't let go. He's got hold of his foot or something because he's on the floor, and he's got hold of his leg or something, and he's like that. Let me go. The day's about to break. Let me go. No, I won't let you go until you bless me. If you were watching this on a film, it'd make it easier because it'd be dark. Because it's dark, it's night time, the day is about to break, but it's not come up yet, as I'll carry on reading just to prove that. Let me go, I won't let you go until you bless me. So he said to him, "What's your name?" And he said, "Yaakov." And he said, what does Yaakov mean? Don't believe Esau. Heel. Foot. Grab the heel. So you've got a picture here, haven't you? What's your name? You can see him in that place. He was in the room grabbing Esau's heel. Esau went, "Yeah, he was trying to rob me birthright." Esau's a liar. Jacob wasn't. No, he bought the birthright. He's grabbing the heel because of this. What's your name? Yaakov. One who grabs the heel. One who... What's grab the heel mean? It's to be in pursuit of. Well, he wants the blessing. I'm not letting you go. I'm Yaakov. I won't let you go till you bless me. And he said, "Your name shall no longer be Yaakov, but Israel." God, how can anyone hate Israel? God help. What's your name? Yaakov. Your name's not Yaakov anymore. It's Israel. Amen. Why is it Israel? Because, here's the answer, you've struggled, wrestled with God and with men, and have prevailed. Well done, Yaakov, you were like this in the womb, mate. Now you're with God, and you've wrestled with God and with men, and you've prevailed. You've prevailed. This is where the word Israel comes from. You are like a prince with God. That's what it says. Let's just carry on. Now we'll go back over it. Then Yaakov asked, saying, "Tell me your name, I pray." And he said, "Why is it that you ask about my name?" And he blessed them there. So Yaakov called the name of that place Peniel. Peniel. Why is it called Peniel? For I have seen God, El, face to face. Panayim, Al Panayim, face Panayim, Al Panayim, face to face. I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved. Which is amazing, isn't it?
Yes.
Because it says in Exodus to Moses, you can't see my face and live. What's happening here? This is the end of that flesh, old man life.
Because God has put his name on him.
Yeah, this is the Gospels, this is the Gospel, you see. What's your name? Oh, your name's not going to be that anymore. Your name's now going to be, well, I believe it's Yehovah Sidkenu, Yehovah our righteousness, according to Jeremiah 33. Just as he crossed over Peniel, thought it was called Peniel. It's changed, hasn't it? To Peniel. Yeah. Why? And it is what it is. It's exactly as it sounds. Peniel was Jacob's vessel. Peniel is your vessel. That's what it means. Everyone must go to this place. You, Peniel, you must go here. Everyone. I have been here. Peniel, you must go there. That's why the name's changed. Peniel. But this is the important bit. Just as he crossed over, so see the film now. Just as he crossed over Peniel, the sun rose on him, and he limped on his hip. Therefore, to this day, the children of Israel do not eat the muscle that shrank, which is on the hip socket, because he touched the socket of Jacob's hip in the muscle that shrank. So I'm going to go back over this now, and that's why I've been emphasising the times of day. The state of the sky is dark 1 minute, and in the next minute the sun comes up. So now go to John chapter 21. John chapter 21, and I believe that what we've just read is a picture of what we're just about to read. John chapter 21, John chapter 20, beg your pardon. John chapter 20. John chapter 20 is, get the scene in your head, it's at the tomb. It's at the tomb where now the stone is being rolled away, and Mary of Magdalene turns up. And when does she turn up? In chapter 20 verse 1, now the first day of the week, Mary of Magdalene went to the tomb early while it was still dark. What was it? Dark. So it was still dark, and she saw that the stone had been taken away from the tomb. And so I'm not going to read the rest of that bit, but let's go forward now to verse 14. When she had said this, she speaks to the angels, she's weeping. Now she says this. She said she turned around and saw Yeshua standing there, and didn't know it was Yeshua. Yeshua said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping? Whom are you seeking?" She, supposing him to be the gardener, which he is, isn't he? You know, he is the gardener as well, or the father's the vine dresser, you know.
Adam was sent to the garden.
He sent the garden, yeah. So there's something in that. But she said to him, "Sir, if you have carried him away, tell me where you have laid him, and I will take him away." I mean, she's Psalm Mary of Magdalene, isn't she? She just wants the Lord. And Yeshua said to her, "Miriam." She turned and said to him, "Rabboni," which is to say, teacher. Yeshua said to her, "Do not cling to me, for I have not yet ascended to my Father, but go to my brethren and tell them, I am ascending to my Father and your Father." That is so brilliant.
Yes.
It's our Father, isn't it?
Yes.
Aye, Miriam, what time of day is it, by the way? It's dark. Don't cling to me. I must ascend. What's your name? Jacob. Let me go. The sun's about to come up. I'm not going to let you go until you bless me. Miriam, don't cling to me. I must ascend while it's still dark. Now, go to Matthew. So in the Genesis narrative, this is clearly taking place when it's dark, before the sun's come up. Let me go, for the day is about to break. So why do you think you're getting the detail? Why do you think Matthew is going to give us this detail? So I'm not going to try and break this down too much. I'm going to just say what I say and then leave it to you. Matthew 28, so you've got to just see what John said. There's no contradictions in the Word of God. There's no contradictions in the Word of God. There's some things you have to really wrestle with. Not wrong with wrestling. Jacob does it. You get blessed for doing it. So wrestle with these things. But it's very clear that Mary of Magdalene came when it was still dark. And it's very clear that she was on her own in John. There's no mention of anyone else. No mention of any other women there. No, Matthew 28 says this. Now after the Sabbath, as the first day of the week began to dawn, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary came to see the tomb. And that's something I'm not going to break down for now, but you've got to use both narratives to get the true picture. But this is what's important. So, when was this? As the first day of the week began to dawn. And then it says, this is this other set of women, and they come to the tomb, and verse 9, as they went to tell his disciples, behold, Yeshua met them. So this is a different scenario altogether now. This is not the one you just read in John 20. That is a different scenario. That was Mary clinging hold of him, and Yeshua saying, don't cling to me, I must ascend to my Father. That was when it was dark. Now that the sun has risen, you get a better message from that in Mark, but it's very clear that the sun is now risen. And it says that Yeshua met them, and he said, rejoice. Now, okay, is anyone else's translation say anything else? Huh? All hail. All hail. Oh, you can imagine Yeshua turning up going, all hail. Rejoice. Well, someone else might just say, he greeted them.
Shalom.
Shalom, well, that's nice. Thankfully, the Gospel of Matthew was written in Hebrew, and the Hebrew Gospel of Matthew tells you what Yeshua actually said, and it wasn't all hail, and it wasn't rejoice, and it wasn't even shalom. It was Yehovah Hoshea. Yah saves. Yehovah saves. That's what the Hebrew Matthew says. But this is why I'm reading this. So they came, and what did they do? Held him by the feet. Why are you getting this detail? And worshipped him. And Yeshua didn't say, don't cling to me, because I must ascend. It's a completely different narrative. There's no contradiction in this. No, there's a change of scene. It's now light. The sun has now come up. The one earlier on with Mary of Magdalene, it was dark. And this is what Jacob's doing, and this is what the Gospel's showing here. Yeshua is saying to her, let me go, because I've got to ascend. He's the high priest. This is the day of first fruits. The first fruit offering must be presented to the Father in heaven. Yeshua is ascending on that day. We know he ascends 40 odd days later, but this is different. Yeshua's saying, right now, Mary of Magdalene, I've got to ascend right now, so do not cling to me. Just like the angel is saying, or the man, or God is saying to Jacob, let me go. The day's about to break. It's a picture of first fruits. It's a picture of the fulfillment of the festival of first fruits. When Yeshua in Matthew 28, it's not a contradiction. He's back. He's been. And he's back now. The sun's come up now. And now Yeshua's not saying, don't cling to me. He's sound. It's like that sound. You can cling to me now, because I've been and I'm back. I've ascended. I have presented the first fruits offering, and so my message to you is not all hail or rejoice. It's Yehovah saves, because I have been accepted. I have been accepted, and if the first batch of dough is considered holy, the good news is Yehovah saves you. The whole batch is accepted, and that's what's going on here. This in the Gospels, Yeshua is ascending to do the first fruits offering, to be able to return and say what he says next to the women. It's a completely different narrative. Don't combine them. Don't mix them up. When you see the film again, well, don't watch the films again because they got it all wrong. Mary of Magdalene turns up alone when it's dark, and Yeshua won't let her cling to him. Just the way the angel of God wouldn't let Yaakov cling to him. Why? Because it's a picture of this. Because it's a picture of, I'm about to ascend. And when I ascend and I get accepted and the whole batch is considered holy, that's when there'll be new names getting handed out. That's when there'll be new creations on the manor. Because this had to happen. Yeshua had to rise from the dead, but then the next level of the story, which we never hear about, is that Yeshua had to ascend. And it had to be at this critical part of the day when it was still dark and before the sunrise. Couldn't be doing it later. Can't be turning up to the temple at 6:30 and going, oh sorry I'm late. No, and that's what Yeshua was saying. Don't cling to me. This is what the Jacob to Israel message is. Because of Yeshua's ascension, we are Israel, the Commonwealth of Israel. We are grafted in to the family of God because of this event, and Yeshua saying, I've got to ascend. So now, here's the message for you, Mary of Magdalene. It's one of the best messages anyone's ever going to be given in the whole universe. Go and tell my brethren, my brothers, my brothers. Go and tell them I ascend to my Father and your Father.
Amen.
He's your Father now.
Amen.
Because of this death, burial, resurrection and ascension. So that's Genesis. That's the gospel in that narrative there. Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord, that this has taken place, that you've done this, Lord, that you have done it once for all.
Yes.
You'll never die again.
Yes.
You'll never have to be raised again from the dead. And now you are ascended. Now you are seated in heavenly places. And I just pray that through this wrestle of resting, that we will come into that understanding, Lord, that we are also seated with you in heavenly places, that our old man has been crucified with the Messiah, that it's no longer us that live, but it's the Messiah that lives in us, the life that we now live in this flesh. Help us, Lord. Please help us to live it by the faith of the Son of God who loved us and gave himself for us. Amen. Amen. So that's what that wrestling is. I would say it's wrestling with God. Amen. Amen. So where are we? Chapter 32 still. Oh no, we're in chapter 33 now, aren't we? Chapter 33, you'll get an offer in a minute, aren't you, Vic? Yeah. And yes, so see you soon. God bless you. So wherever you're going, just because we're about to start this now. Chapter 33. So Jacob lifted his eyes. Now, I mean, he's a changed man now. He's called Israel, but the Bible still keeps calling him Jacob. And then we'll get into that more maybe today and next week. Is that you've got this Jacob, Israel. It's the same man, but so we are new creations, but we walk around in this old body, and we still have to put to death the deeds of the body, and there is this new creation that we are, but we still have to deal with this old man, if you like, yeah. So there's not no Jacob's perfect, it said. He's perfect. God sees no sin in Israel. Same with us right now. You know, we've got to get our identity. Jacob needs to just come into his identity, you know. He needs to understand his new identity, the same as we do. We need to understand now, put off that old man, and put on the new man, which has been created according to God in true righteousness and holiness. We'll just learn to put on this new identity. We'll just live more like Israel, won't we? More in the spirit, be more like the Israel we're meant to be. So Jacob lifted his eyes and looked, and there Esau was coming, and with him is them 400 men, So he divided the children among Leah, Rachel and the 2 maidservants, and he put the maidservants and their children in front, Leah and her children behind, and Rachel and Joseph last. Got his priorities there. He loves Rachel. Then he crossed over before them and bowed himself to the ground 7 times until he came near to his brother Esau. Now, I've been reading notes going, I don't agree with that, and my notes, and I don't agree with that, because I've always tried to work this out, and I've had various views. I used to have the Esau view and go, Jacob's wrong, well, he's a deceiver. No, he's not. And then I've gone, oh, maybe Jacob's trying to make amends here. It's like, he's got nothing to make amends for. He's got nothing to make amends for. What's he got to make amends for? Nothing. He's a peacemaker. He doesn't want to suffer, that's the point. This isn't his fight. He's a peacemaker. Does he bow down 7 times to Esau? Doesn't it say that? It says he bows down 7 times until he came near to his brother. So other commentaries I am starting to be very grateful for that won't have a bad word said against Jacob or Isaac or Abraham or Sarah or any of the people of the faith. The devil's the accuser of the brethren. The devil wants to accuse these people and to distort our image of this. So other commentaries I'm reading is that this is Jacob bowing down to Yah 7 times, not to Esau, whatever. You can't really tell definitively. So I'm just saying what I've said in the past. I'm going, well, I'm not sure now. I'm not sure anymore. Jacob's done nothing wrong. So he's bowing down 7 times until he came near his brother, but Esau ran to meet him and embraced him. Well, this is not what we expected, and fell on his neck and kissed him. This is not what we expected, and they wept. Wow. And that's the picture that you've got there. Object. Right then, see you later, Jess. Shabbat shalom. See you later, Vic. Shabbat shalom. Have a great week. God bless you. So now this is an amazing scene. Esau has embraced him, fell on his neck and kissed him, and he wept. And he lifted his eyes and saw the women and the children and said, who are these with you? So he said, the children whom God has graciously given your servant. It's like, wow, what the language is. Why is he calling Esau? Why is he calling himself a servant and everything? He's just a peacemaker. He's not in a competition. Esau is a man of the flesh. Esau wants all this, and Jacob's just like that. You know what? You want a few goats? You want a nice one? Honestly, it doesn't bother me. Take it. Have it as a gift. You want worldly possessions? Go ahead. You can have them. I know God's with me. I know God's blessing me. So that's what I think's going on here. So we say. And Leah also came near with her children, and they bowed down. Afterwards Joseph and Rachel came near, and they bowed down. Then Esau said, what do you mean by all this company which I meet? And he said, these are to find favour. That's what this is for, Esau. I want peace. Yeah. I don't want a war. Yeah. If we went to war, you'd get battered, because God's with me. Yeah. God spoke to Laban last week, when Laban was chasing me. God said to him, don't have nothing to do with Jacob. Don't speak to him, good or bad. So I don't believe Jacob is falling apart anymore. He's just wrestling with God all night. He's had his name changed. I think Jacob's in a place here of like, let's just be at peace. The way we should be. I think Israel, the natural Israel, maybe they will trust in their own strength a bit too much in the days to come. Maybe the time of Jacob's trouble will come about because of Jacob's or Israel's own attempts to defend themselves. Maybe. We'll look at that maybe a bit later. But I'm just saying for now is that Jacob here, he just wants peace. No need to have a fight. No need to have a war. Just want peace. These are to find favour in the sight of my Lord. But Esau said, I have enough, my brother. Keep what you have for yourself. And Jacob said, no, please, very covenantal, if I have now found favour in your sight, then receive my present from my hand, inasmuch as I have seen your face, as though I had seen the face of God, which he just has. Yeah, he just has, hasn't he? He's just seen the face of God. So I don't think Jacob is fearful anymore. I think Jacob just wants to make peace and wants it to be known to everyone, including Esau's 400 fellas. I'm a man of peace. I just want to be a blessing. I just want to give gifts to you and be about my business. Thanks very much, but I don't want a war. I think that's the attitude we should have, rather than going, we're dead strong and we've got the best military in the world. It's like, Jacob said, no, please, verse 11, take my blessing that is brought to you, because God has dealt graciously with me. I'm sound, and because I have enough. So he urged them, and Esau took it. They always do, these people. They always whine. Even if they put a show on, like that fella the other week when Abraham was like, how much do you want for the sea? Oh, no, it's not between me and you. I'll go on in 400 shekels. It's like, all right, well, you know what I mean? That's what they like, these people. Then Esau said, let's take our journey. Let us go, and I'll go before you. So Esau now was thinking, right, I've got him back where I want him now. I'm the older son, I'm in charge. Jacob's having none of it. Jacob said to him, my Lord knows that the children are weak and the flocks and herds which are nursing are with me. If the men should drive them hard one day, all the flock will die. Please let my Lord go on ahead before his servants. I will lead on slowly at a pace with the livestock which go before me, and the children are able to endure until I come to my Lord Esau in Seir, I should say, which will happen, won't it? No, right now. In a few hundred years, Israel will come, won't they? They'll come to Esau, they'll come to the land of Seir, and they'll say, can we pass through? We'll pay our way. And what will Esau say? No, you can't come. We'll not let you in. We'll not let you pass through our land. So Jacob, Israel will come, but they'll be rejected. They'll be rejected. And all of this history is here to say, Esau, why did you treat your brother like this? Why did you act in this way? It's up to them. They could have gone, oh, we have heard what God did to Pharaoh. We've heard about the Red Sea parting. You know what? Come in. Stay for tea. Oh, we're made up. Can't we be back mates again? That would be the best thing for Esau to do. They just can't. These people are demented. Demented. You know, people like President Trump, people like Boris Johnson seem to have the right ideas, and they're like that. We love Israel, we love Zion. It's like, praise God. That's sensible. To hate Israel and to stand against Israel is crazy. It's absolute ludicrous. Madness. No one's forcing anyone's hand here. People make their own choices, and unfortunately a lot of people choose to hate Israel. Seriously. Well, Yeshua's going to separate the sheep and the goats, depending on this, isn't it? And Esau, Edom, they get the chance. Jacob's saying, yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back. It'll be a few hundred years like from now, but we'll be back. And Esau will reject them. Edom will say no entry. You can't come in. So that's how this plays out. And in verse 15, Esau said, now let me leave with you some of the people who are with me. But he said, what need is there? Let me find favour in the sight of my Lord. So Esau returned that day on his way to Seir. I mean, if you look at that word Seir, if you look at it and you check out its root, one of the other words for this is devil. It just is. Devil, it's another word used for the devil. Goats, that devil goat thing, is it sat, whatever it is. But you see it in there, this place, this land, Seir and Edom, it's all satanic. This is a satanic nation in its fledgling state. The 400 speaks of the satanic nations of the world that will come against Israel. That's who these people are. So thankfully, that's the end of him for a bit. Jacob, verse 17, returned to Sukkot and built himself a house and made booths or sukkahs for his livestock. Therefore, the name of that place is called Sukkot. Then, verse 18, Yaakov came safely to the city of, very famous this place, Shechem. we've been here loads, haven't we? This is where Abraham first came into the land, and the place he first built an altar, and the place that he called on the name of the Lord, wasn't he? Back in Genesis 12, this place, Shechem, Abraham, when he built an altar there, he didn't call on the name of the Lord till later, but he built an altar at Shechem. Shechem is now what they call Nablus, isn't it? Nablus, and it's a hotbed of Palestinian, hatred and terrorism. It's where Joseph's buried. This is Shechem, where Joseph's bones are buried. And a couple of years ago, I remember watching it on the news, and it was on fire, the tomb, where they've set fire to Joseph's tomb. Like, these people are demented.
Yeah.
This is the place where the woman at the well meets Yeshua, and it says, because this is the well that Jacob gave our ancestors, Shechem, that area, very important area. And this is why we can know that Abraham paid well over the odds for a grave. So he came to Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan, when he came from Padan Aram, and he pitched his tent before the city. And he bought the parcel of land where he had pitched his tent from the children of Hamor, Shechem's father, for 100 pieces of money. Wow, Abraham paid 400 for a grave. Jacob was buying a little bit of land for 100, so you can see, that's why so amazed at it. So 100 pieces of money. Then he erected an altar there and called it El Elohi Israel, God, the God of Israel. Because that's who he is, isn't it now? He is Israel. He is acknowledging his name, acknowledging his new identity, and he's now back in the land. After 20 odd years, he is back in the land. Mentioned the other week, and I was saying this before, but to actually say that when Jacob left home, he was 70 or thereabouts. When he wrestled with the angel, it was 20 years later. Jacob was now around 90. When he had that wrestle with the angel, he was around 90. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. He was about 70 when he left the land. Now he's about 90 when he's coming back to the land. 20 odd years. Some people classify that as the time of Jacob's trouble. 20 years, I don't know. Now chapter 34 is Dinah, the Dinah incident. So I'm just reading through it today. Is that alright? Yeah, does anyone want to say anything now at this point? No. Chapter 34, so this is horrible. Dinah, this is Jacob's daughter. She got born while we were in Laban's household. She's Leah's daughter, Dinah, the daughter of Leah, whom she had born to Jacob when went out to see the daughters of the land. So we know, I've just said, this is 20 years later. Dinah can't be really no more than 10, 12. She's very young. She's not a woman. She's a young daughter. She's young. She went to see the daughters of the land, and when Shechem, the name of the place is also the name of the fella, so he obviously thinks very highly of himself. When Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivite, prince of the country, saw her, he took her and lay with her and violated her. His soul was strongly attracted to Dinah, the daughter of Yaakov, and he loved the young woman and spoke kindly to the young woman. Very nice. So Shechem spoke to his father Hamor, saying, "Get me this young woman as a wife." He's just raped her. He's just raped and defiled Dinah. And Yaakov heard that he had defiled Dinah, his daughter. Now his sons were with his livestock in the field, so Jacob, Yaakov, held his peace until they came. That's very wise. I wouldn't have done it. What? You're having a laugh, aren't you? You've raped my daughter. Get the lads round here right now. We're going to war. But Jacob is like, hang on, let's wait here. Let's see what God's going to say about this. We need to be of that understanding. God can intervene, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
God can deal with our enemies. God can say to Jacob, lad, you have your tea. And by the time you've even finished it, just have a look out the window and see what's happened to them. Now I'm the God who calls down fire and brimstone. I can take vengeance. Vengeance is mine. Leave it to me. And I think that's what Jacob's doing here. He's obviously vexed. If your daughter's just been raped, you're not like, well, shalom. You know what I mean? That's not what you do. But Jacob is a man of God. and he's wrestling with God, and now he's like, I need to hear from God on this. I'm not going to do this in my own strength. I'm not going to take vengeance, because vengeance belongs to God, and I don't want to rob it from him.
Amen.
So that's what Jacob's doing here, holding his peace, keeping it together. Then Hamor, the father of Shechem, went out to Jacob to speak with him. You'll be obviously at the end of this, but don't think for 1 minute that Dina's come home now. Dina is a prisoner. Dina's been hijacked. Dina is now under house arrest in Shechem's house, as you'll see at the end. Hamor, the father of Shechem, went out to Jacob to speak with him, and the sons of Jacob came in from the field when they heard it, and the men were grieved and very angry, because he had done a disgraceful thing in Israel. This is the land of Israel now. It doesn't matter who's living here, what Canaanites are living here. This is the land of Israel promised to the sons. So this is a disgraceful thing that's happened in Israel. By lying with Jacob's daughter, a thing which ought not to be done. But Hamor spoke with them, saying, the soul of my son Shechem longs for your daughter. Please give her to him as a wife, and make marriages with us. Give your daughters to us, and take our daughters to yourselves. There's like a false peace treaty going on, isn't it? It's like the sad language you hear from these fake peace treaties and these false liars. Liars, you'll see it later, they've got no intention of this. So you shall dwell with us, and the land shall be before you. Dwell and trade in it, and acquire possessions for yourselves in it. Happy days, you just raped your daughter, but let's have a peace treaty. Oh, come on, let's get over it and have peace. Then Shechem said to her father and her brothers, let me find favour in your eyes, and whatever you say to me I will give. Ask me ever so much dowry and gifts, and I'll give according to what you say to me, but give to me the young woman as a wife. But the sons of Jacob answered Shechem and Hamor his father, and spoke deceitfully, because he had defiled Dinah their sister. So this is not good. These are going to take matters into their own hands now. They are not holding their peace. They are now acting the way the enemy acts. Not good. Not good. Jacob will rebuke them for this at the end of Genesis. They will lose inheritance rights and everything because of this, or firstborn rights. So we cannot, they said, so we cannot do this thing. We can't let you have our sister to one who is uncircumcised, for that will be a reproach to us. But on this condition we will consent to you, if you will become as we are. If every male of you is circumcised, then we will give our daughters to you, and we will take your daughters to us, and we will dwell with you, and we will become one people. That's not good. No, this is not good. Using this circumcision which God gave to Abraham, what for?
Covenant.
As a sign of the righteousness he had obtained. He had obtained righteousness not by being circumcised, by believing God. And God gave him a sign of circumcision. And so to use this sign of circumcision in this false covenant, well, I think that might have some future implications. Well, that's what it says. But if you will not be circumcised, then we will take our daughter and be gone. And their words pleased Hamor and Shechem, Hamor's son. So the young man did not delay to do the thing, because he delighted in Yaakov's daughter. Demented he is. He was more honourable than all the household of his father. I know, but that doesn't quite mean what I used to think it means. It's not saying that he was an honourable fella. No, he's a lovely. He's a rapist. The man's a rapist. The man's a rapist of young women. A bit like that Muhammad. He's a rapist of young women. He's not honourable. It means he's got more wealth, more power, more stature. It means he's the big wig in town. It means what he says goes. It means if he comes in and goes, right, we're getting circumcised, you obey him.
Yeah.
He's got more honour, more weight. He carries more weight. He's not honourable. It's not a good thing it's saying about him. It's not saying he's an honourable fellow, that's sharp. He's a rapist. Yeah. He's not honourable at all. He's just got loads of weight. That's what it means, honourable. Not honourable, nice. Honourable, carries clout. More honourable than all the household of his father. And Hamor and Shechem his son came to the gate of their city and spoke with the men of their city, the leadership, saying, these men are at peace with us, all right. Therefore, let them dwell in the land and trade in it. For indeed the land is large enough for them. Yeah. Let us take their daughters to us as wives, and let us give them our daughters. Only on this condition will the men consent to dwell with us to be one people. If every male among us is circumcised as they are circumcised, anyway, look, will not their livestock and their property and every animal of theirs be ours? You know, come on lads, there's only a few of them. We'll well have these on. Let's just go along with it. Come on, we'll well have these. All what they've got, it'll become ours.
Yeah.
We're dead hard. We're Shechem. There's loads of us. There's only a few of them. Come on, let's just have this bit of a circumcision thing. We'll get over it in a few days, and then we'll take over them. There's an end-time message in this. Beware of false peace covenants. Beware of people that come and say, peace, peace, peace. When they're saying peace and safety, sudden destruction will come upon them, like pain, like child, like pain, birth pangs on a woman in labour. And that's what this is. This is a false peace treaty.
Yeah.
It's a false peace treaty using covenant language, talking of circumcision and things like this. I would expect the peace treaty that's going to come soon between Israel and the nations, watch out, it's going to be a false one. It's going to be a false one, and the false man of peace will have his pen out, signing it, making no suggestions who that might be, just saying. So it says, all verse 24, he went out to the gates of the city, he did Hamor and Shechem his son, every male was circumcised, all went out to the gate of the city. Now it came to pass on the third day, hallelujah for the third day, when they were in pain, that two of the sons of Yaakov, Simeon, Shimon, hearing, and Levi, Dean his brothers, each took his sword and came boldly upon the city and killed all the males. And they killed Hamor and Shechem. You can imagine the rage, can't you? And his son with the edge of the sword, and took Dinah from Shechem's house and went out. The sons of Yaakov came upon the slain and plundered the city because their sister had been defiled. What were they doing? They took their sheep, their oxen and their donkeys, what was in the city and what was in the field, and all their wealth. All their little ones and their wives they captured, and they plundered even all that was in the houses. Then Yaakov said to Simeon and Levi, you have troubled me. And when I read that this week, I thought, wow, is that anything to do with the time of Jacob's trouble? There's a time called Jacob's trouble, isn't it? And this is Jacob using that language now, going, oh no, what you have just done is going to cause trouble. And I don't know, I'm just saying, but these false peace treaties that are going to be getting made, these financial arrangements that are getting touted, this offer of great wealth to the Palestinians and the Arabs if they'll sign this peace treaty, and land deals and all the rest of it, I think it will be the trigger for the time of Jacob's trouble. This is causing the time of Jacob's trouble. The children of Israel, because that's who they are, Simeon and Levi, the children of Israel, are taking matters into their own hands, thinking the dead hard, coming in dead boldly, saying, we've got the fourth largest army in the world. That's what they say, isn't it? Boast about their military might. Well, that might be the undoing of them, you know. That might be what triggers the time of Jacob's trouble. We haven't got to worry about it, because someone read it from Ezekiel 35 last week, what God's going to do. God's going to destroy the enemies of Israel, but it will be so the whole world will know. They won't be going, wow, isn't the IDF great? No, they'll be going, wow, that could only be the God of Abraham, Isaac and Jacob that has destroyed all of Israel's enemies on the mountains of Israel. That's The IDF's not going to get the glory.
right.
No man or no army is going to get the glory.
It's God's battle.
It's God's going to get the glory.
Yeah.
So, you know, we love Israel here and pray for Israel's safety and deliverance. But I think this could be a bit of a heads up on how Israel can act in the flesh. They certainly can, can't they? And
The picture that comes to mind today is God is not on. What
Yeah.
he sows, he surely will.
yeah,
So they're sowing this false peace treaty here, aren't they?
Yeah.
And it's got to come back to them, hasn't it?
it's got to, yeah. And that's what Jacob's saying here. It doesn't come back to them in this portion.
No.
It's an end time message, this. It's an end time message, all this. Read Obadiah. Read Obadiah. Esau is some fella from that time ago. Esau's some fella to come. Esau, Edom, is some fella yet to come. Esau, Edom, is this confederacy of nations, 400 men. Jacob said, this is going to trouble me. This is going to cause trouble. Jacob's trouble. By making me obnoxious, you see, among the inhabitants of the land. Don't give them any excuse. Sorry, George. Don't give them any excuse. I've only got to do one thing wrong. I mean, I said it the other week. The UN likes giving resolutions out. They've got one better to do with themselves. You know, you've got to do something if you're going to have this job in New York in the UN building. You've got to do something with your time. So what they do is they just give loads of resolutions out, and half of the resolutions they give out are against Israel. Half of them. You know, there's a whole world here, and half of their resolutions issued are against Israel. When they massacre Christians in all the other places, the UN's like, oh, whatever. It's only Christians. Who cares? But if it's Arab or a Muslim, oh, the UN's in uproar. And if Israel have got anything to do with it, the EU are part of it. The whole world are part of it. Thank God we did not get an anti-Semitic leader. You've got to make me obnoxious by this among the Canaanites and the Perizzites, and since I am few in number, they will gather against themselves. This is what Iran's like, isn't it? Come on, let's wipe Israel off the map. Let's drive them into the Mediterranean Sea. They're getting all burned, aren't they? They're getting all full of themselves. Israel is obnoxious to the nations.
Also, Steve, it's a warning about doing things of your own volition as well, instead of
That's exactly what it is, bro. That's exactly what it is. I'll be destroyed. They're going to come against me to kill me. I'll be destroyed, my household and I. Which he's right there. And there's their answer. And I can't really argue with them either. But they said, should he treat our sister like a harlot? I think I'll be one of them. Which would be wrong. I'm saying it'd be wrong to be like them. But you can't understand where they're coming from, can you?
You could have just punished him then.
Yeah, and what are we doing, robbing all the cattle?
Yeah.
And all of the wives? It's like, oh, what are you doing this for? Back off. Get your sister back. Maybe kill Shechem for, you know, he's guilty of murder. You know, the Torah would say kill him. Kill him, stone him to death. Maybe take him outside the camp and stone him to death. But why rob the whole land? Why rob all the cattle? You've got loads. Your dad just gave 200 goats and 200 sheep and all. Don't take matters into your own hands, Israel. Don't fight this fight yourself, Israel.
Wasn't God's way, wasn't Jacob's way.
Well, Jacob held his peace.
Yeah.
Didn't get a chance to hear from God. Didn't get a chance to go, lads, I've got a plan. God spoke to me. I'm the one that God turns up to, lads. You know, when I pray, I'm going, where are you worried here? He turns up and wrestles me. I know this, God. Let's just wait. Let's just hold our peace and see what God's going to say about it. But no. And that's why it's a message to everyone. It's an end-time message, and it's involving Israel. But it's involving us. It's involving us when we go home tonight and go up tomorrow. How are we going to do it? Are we going to wage war in our own strength? Or are we going to hold our peace and wrestle with God and go, you know what? You're my God. I am going to trust you with my very life, Lord. I know if I die, you're going to raise me. What can anyone do to me? That's the language of Romans 8, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm confident in the Lord. My enemies come against me. They've got you to deal with. I'm going to hold my peace here. And I'm vexed that my daughter's been raped. I feel like going for revenge, but even though I feel like that, I'm going to hold my peace. I'm going to trust you. You will have vengeance here. Simeon and Levi, unfortunately, and we haven't got to wonder if this is good or bad. If you find out at the end of Genesis, and Jacob tells them, use, in your anger, you've done this. Now, let my soul not enter into your counsel. And they lost the inheritance of the firstborn. Reuben lost it. Simeon didn't get it. Levi didn't get it. Ephraim got it. Chapter 35. It's half 5. Going to just run through this. I've already mentioned chapter 36. So it's just this bit to do now. Thanks for listening. You know, it's one of them days when I just reeled it off today, you know what I mean, to make up for last week where we only do a few verses. Chapter 35, hallelujah, this is massive. Then God said after this terrible event, this is a horrible event, really, really horrible event, wasn't it, that?
Yeah.
You know, the language in there, Dina, the first time you see in there the word that we become very familiar with later on in the Torah, when it's teaching us the Torah, the instructions for being clean and not being unclean. The same word for unclean is tameh, which is the same word used of Dinah, that she was defiled. Yeah, and that's what you can see by uncleanness. When God says, don't do that, because it'll be unclean. Don't do that, that'll make you unclean. Don't even eat that, because that's unclean. It's the same word for Dinah being raped. And it means unclean, means broken, fragmented, ruined. That's what unclean means. It doesn't mean God can't make you clean again. Thank God he can make you clean. But that's the state of uncleanness. You can see it from its first mention. It's to do with being broken and fragmented. That's what tameh means. It's what happened to Dinah is what happens when you do certain things. You get into an unclean state. Tameh. Like Dinah. Chapter 35, then God said to Yaakov, this is lovely, arise, and go to Bethel. And we are not being funny. What were you even doing in Shechem in the first place? I didn't tell you to go to Shechem. I told you 20 years ago. You, in fact, I didn't tell you. You told me 20 years ago, Jacob, that you were going to go to the land and come back to this place. Know the place where you set up the stone and poured oil on it? Know that place where you saw Jacob's ladder? That's where you're meant to be going anyway. Why on earth did you settle for anything less than the house of God? Because that's what he's saying. Jacob, arise and go to the house of God. Beit El. Go to Bethel and dwell there. That's where I want you to dwell. And make an altar there to God, who appeared to you when you fled from the face of Esau, your brother. Fantastic. And Jacob said to his household and to the earlier women, put away, what are these here? The foreign gods that are among you. What are they even doing here? Purify yourselves and change your garments. You know, we're going to the house of God. And we're not going anywhere near the house of God with Christmas trees. Get that out of here. Put your false gods away. Change your clothes. Don't worry. Look, I'm not being funny. If you've got a Christmas tree up, I'm just making light of it. But I'm saying, what are Israel, what are the household of God doing with false gods, with foreign gods amongst them? Where did they come from? Well, we know, don't we, the other week, Rachel robbed Laban's false God, didn't she? Yeah. When Rachel was leaving, she took Laban's idols with her. Now, I'm not making any judgment call on that. I'm not saying why. There's other reasons why she might have done that. But the fact is, she did. And so somehow, there's foreign gods in the tribe of Israel here. This is not a good thing. And he's saying, purify yourselves and change your garments. Don't be coming with your self-righteousness when you go into the house of God, because your garments are like filthy rags. Yeah. So if you're going to come to the house of God, there needs to be a putting away of foreign gods, and there needs to be a changing of garments, doesn't it? There needs to be a putting on of the robes of righteousness here. There needs to be putting on the garments of salvation. There needs to be that if we're going to come to the house of God. We need to go dressed right. We need to come dressed as priests, don't we? Because that's who belong here. So that's where they're going now. And then he says, come on, let's do that. Let's arise and let's go up to Bethel, the house of God. And I will make there an altar to God, who answered me in the day of my distress, and has been with me in the way which I have gone. Mm-hmm. So they gave Yaakov all the foreign gods which were in their hands. Or maybe they had looted them. When he's done Shechem and robbed the village, maybe they were like that. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that will look nice on the mantelpiece.
Both the women and the children.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe that's where they all come from. But you can see they were got rid of. They were like, yeah, you lost that. Oh, I'll get rid of that. They were kept. They were hoarded. Just the way our wonderful faith has been hijacked with fake things and false worship systems and false appointments that God didn't put on the calendar. Like Easter. Horrible, disgusting things like Easter, which is clearly a foreign god, isn't it? I mean, it's just clearly a foreign god, isn't it? Easter is Ishtar. Ishtar is the bare-breasted fertility goddess. What's that got to do with Yeshua? What's that got to do with Yeshua's death, burial and resurrection? Nothing. Nothing at all. Put away the foreign gods. Ishtar is a foreign god. Easter is a foreign god. Have nothing to do with it. Why celebrate something stupid like that with bunny rabbits and eggs when you can celebrate Passover and celebrate first fruits and understand Yeshua saying, don't cling to me because I've got to ascend. Why have you got to ascend, Lord? Because it's the feast of first fruits. He's not ascending to go on an Easter egg hunt. It's the feast of first fruits. Put away the foreign gods and change your garments.
Amen.
So they gave Jacob, thank God, they gave him all the foreign gods which were in their hands. Not on the mantelpiece, in their hands. Probably like rosary beads, walking around with them and all the rest of it. Whatever. I'm just saying, get them out your hands. And the earrings which were in their ears, where did they come from? I mean, where did they come from? They've been living in Laban's house, you see. They've been coming out of, they've been in Babylon worship, they've been in all of these cultural things, and you can see it's clung to them. Christians get offended when you call these things out, sorry, but get rid of them. If you go to Bethel, the house of God, get rid of your earrings. Because that just means you dedicated your ear to something else. And they journeyed, verse 5, and the terror of God. That's what you need to rely on here. Don't rely on the sword, rely on God. The terror of God was upon them. And I pray that for the enemies of Israel, the terror of God, that these stupid Iranian mullahs will stop us, shut up, and stop going, oh, let's destroy Israel. I mean, some nutcase has got to do it, because it's in the Bible that some nutcase is going to do it. But we can pray that, thank God that people are leaving these countries and fleeing for their lives, because maybe they're going to escape this. Do you know what I mean? Maybe they're going to escape this nonsense.
It should just state that God will protect his people after what they did at Shechem.
Well, there's a repentance going on here. They're putting away foreign gods, the change in the clothes. That is a sign of repentance. You're right, George. Yeah. So he says here that the journeys and the terror of God is upon the cities that were all around them, and they did not pursue the sons of Yaakov. So Yaakov came to Luz. We talked about this last week. That is Bethel, Luz, almond tree, resurrection message, which is the land of Canaan. Here are all the people who are with him. And he built an altar there and called the place El, Bethel, house of God. God, the house of God. Because there, God appeared to him. Last week, Jacob's ladder, when he fled from the face of his brother. Now, Deborah, remember you saying this 6 years ago, Sonia? What's she doing here? Deborah, what's she doing here? Deborah, Rebecca's nurse, died. What's he even doing here? Died and was buried below Bethel under the terebinth tree. So the name of it was called Alon Bachut. So what is she doing here? I remember you asking that. Have you got an answer yet, Sonia? Why was she doing here? Well, it's a strange one, isn't it? This is
What would mention it?
Rebecca's niece. I used to get confused, and I remember Elsie going, oh yeah, Rachel. Well, you went, no, it's not Rachel, it's Rebecca. I went, oh yeah, this is Rebecca's niece. Who's Rebecca? Jacob's mum. What's Jacob's mum's niece doing here? I could understand if it was Rachel's niece, because Rachel's here. But what's Rebecca's niece doing here?
Wouldn't she be the witness for him, for Jacob?
Yeah, but what's she doing here?
She heritage in the region.
Well, that's what I think, Joe. I wonder, because the next narrative we'll get is that Jacob goes to Beersheba, or Hebron I should say, to bury Isaac. And maybe she has come with the news that your dad's really bad. Your dad hasn't got long left. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe. Or maybe Rebecca was still in Laban's house, because she was obviously part of Laban's house, because she's Deborah's, Rebecca's niece. And maybe she's got off with Jacob. We don't know. We don't know, but she's here. Whatever she's doing here, she's here. And whether the Torah would mention it, I haven't got the answer, but, you know, if the Torah's got to mention it, it's got to be important. So Deborah, which is a great name in itself, isn't it? Deborah, the word. Rebecca, her niece, Isaac's wife, Jacob's mum's niece, died. Verse 9, then God appeared to Yaakov again when he came from Padan Aram, and he blessed him, and God said to him, your name is Yaakov. Your name shall no longer be called Yaakov, but Israel shall be your name. So he called his name Israel. Also God said to him, I am El Shaddai. I am God Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall proceed from you, and kings shall come from your body. That is the gospel, isn't it? Yeshua is the King of Kings, and he comes from this man's body. But he's not the only king. He's the King of Kings. But we are a nation of kings and priests, aren't we?
Yeah.
So this is a gospel, new creation message here. You're going to be Israel, and out of Israel shall come forth kings, because you will be my holy nation, and you will be a kingdom of priests. And I will redeem you, says Yah, the Lord, with my blood, and make you kings and priests. So that's what this is all about. Kings shall come from your body. The land which I gave to Abraham and Isaac, I give to you, and to your descendants after you, I give this land. Then God went up from him. God went up from him in the place where he talked with him. So Yaakov set up a pillar in the place where he talked with him, a pillar of stone, and he poured a drink offering on it. This is what he done the other week. He didn't pour a drink offering on the week, but he done the oil, didn't he? He set up a stone and poured oil on it, and then he said, this will be the house of God, this place here. And sure enough, it became the Temple Mount, didn't it? There's no doubt about it. It tells you quite clear in the word that these mountains is the house of God. It says in the end days that many are going to say from all the nations, come and let us go up to the mountain of Yehovah. Let us go to the house of the God of Jacob. So this is Jacob, and this is the house of the God of Jacob. This is Bethel. This is Jerusalem. And then verse 16, and they journeyed from Bethel, and we know this, don't we? Jerusalem and Bethlehem, they're not that far away, are they? It's about 7 miles, I think, 5 or 6, 7 miles. They journeyed from Bethel, and there was but a little distance to go to Ephrath. Rachel laboured in childbirth, and she had hard labour. Now it came to pass, when she was in hard labour, that the midwife said to her, do not fear, you will have this son also. And it was so, as her soul was departing, for she died, that she called his name Ben-Oni, which some translations say the son of my sorrow, and others say the son of my strength. But his father called him Benjamin, and that's where we picked up this morning, wasn't it? Aye, when you come in and you said, I just can't shake this talk of God's right hand. Remember? What?
That's what it means, doesn't it?
That's what it means. And Israel said, Jacob said, that's not going to be his name. His name's going to be Ben Yamin, the son of my right hand. That's what it means, Ben Yamin. So Rachel died and was buried on the way to Ephrat. That is Bethlehem. How appropriate that the son of my right hand will be born in a place called House of Bread, Beit Lechem, because this is where Yeshua was born, isn't it?
Yes.
This is Yeshua got born here. This is the only one of Israel's sons, Jacob's sons, the only one of his children to be born in the land. Everyone else was born in exile. They were all born in exile in Laban's country, weren't they? In Assyria. This is the only son, the son to be born in the land of Israel, in a place called Bethlehem.
Amen.
Yeshua is the son of my right hand, you see. That's what it says in Psalm 110, isn't it? After Yeshua has done the work, after Yeshua has died, been buried, rose again, and ascended, you see. That's why I was bringing that message out about ascending. It says in Psalm 110, Yehovah said to my Adonai, sit where? At my right hand. Sit at my right hand. You are a priest forever, according to the order of Melchizedek, king of righteousness. Kings shall come forth from you. The very next thing we see is Benjamin getting born. Oh, well, a man who is called the son of my right hand. It's a picture of Yeshua. This is a picture of Yeshua, born to a man called Israel. Hallelujah. Verse 16, and they journeyed from Bethel. I know we've done that bit. Verse 19, so Rachel died and was buried on the way to Ephrat, that is Bethlehem, and Jacob set a pillar on her grave, which is the pillar of Rachel's grave to this day. And when we do the Gospels, I've only got 10 minutes to go now, so we're finishing off soon. When we do the Gospels, we come across that fantastic scriptures only when Herod is killing all the kids. That's not great. But in there, it mentions the prophecy, doesn't it? That this happens so that it would be fulfilled what was written. Rachel, weeping for her children, for they are no more. And that's from Jeremiah 31, isn't it? Which is horrible, but then it's not horrible because the rest of the chapter in Jeremiah 31 just becomes wonderful. Because it's like, wow, this is such a message of deliverance, this. This is such a message of deliverance because this is all about Yeshua. All of this is about Yeshua. He is the son of my right hand. He is the one who will save his people from their sins. Oh, so Rachel weeping for the children, it might start in tears, but it ends in joy. And that is the gospel message. You change your tears into praises, into rejoicing. That's what he does. That's what the gospel is. You come out of sorrow into joy. This, she said, this is going to be the son of my sorrow. And Jacob went, oh, this is going to be the son of my right hand. But God, there's something in this that's about the Messiah. There's going to be a salvation in this. Might start off with tears, but he will wipe away all tears and it will end in joy. Yeah, look now, it changes now, you see. Verse 21, then Israel journeyed and pitched his tent beyond the tower of Adir. And it happened when Israel dwelt in the land that Reuben, firstborn son, went and lay with Bilhah. That's Rachel's handmaid, wasn't it? Now that Rachel's dead, Reuben seems to do something wrong, and he goes and lays with Bilhah, his father's concubine, and Israel heard about it. And you get more of this in Genesis 49, when Israel, Jacob says, you're not the firstborn anymore. You've lost the firstborn because what you did, because you went up into, my bed or whatever it says, then now it's going to pass over you.
Defiled it.
You defiled, that's right, defiled, same word again, uncleanness. Because of this unclean act, Reuben lost the firstborn status. Now the sons of Jacob were 12. The sons of Leah were Reuben, we went through this last week, just finished off with a few verses now. Reuben, Yaakov's firstborn, but he loses the firstborn status, and Simeon, he does. Levi, he does. Judah, which is the messianic line, which retains or gets the firstborn status back, because as I think Lynn prayed at the start, Yeshua is the firstborn, isn't he? He is the firstborn of many what? Brethren. That's why the message is, don't cling to me, I have not ascended yet, but go and tell my brethren I ascend to my Father and your Father. So that gives you all the sons there. Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, the sons of Rachel with Joseph and now Benjamin, the sons of Bilhah, Rachel's maidservant with Dan and Naphtali, the sons of Zilpah, Leah's maidservant with Gad and Asher. These were the sons of Yaakov who were born to him in Padan Aram. Then Jacob, Yaakov, came to his father Isaac at Mamre, or Kiryat Arba, which is Hebron, where Abraham and Isaac had dwelt. Now the days of Isaac were 180 years. So that's why we said the other week, 2 weeks ago, was when it said that Isaac was blind and his years were many, and he was 130 years old, and he said, I don't know the day of my death. And he started getting all, well, I need to start blessing people. 50 years too soon. So I think it was an ordained thing that God ordained for this to happen. But I'm just saying, when Isaac thought his time was up, he still had 50 years to go. And I hope that's a bit of an encouragement to anyone here that thinks, my days are over now. Like, no, they're not. You wouldn't be here if you were. You wouldn't be still breathing God's air if you were over. They're not over till they're over. Isaac was at 130 when he gave up. You still have 50 years to go. I'm not saying I don't think we've got 50 years to go before Yeshua comes back, but don't think for 1 minute that your days are over. And if you do think that, blindness is set in, and so we pray for the eyes salve, Lord, that will help us to realise as long as we have got breath in our bodies, then we've still got work to do. We've still got service to bring. We've still got some walking to do with you, Lord. So let not anyone think that their days are nearly up. Lord, please give us all a wise heart so that we can number our days and present to you a wise heart, Father. Help us to redeem the days now. The days are evil that we're in. So help us, Lord, to make the most of every day that we've got. Help us not to take anything for granted, Lord. Help us to have this attitude that Jacob had. Jacob who became Israel when he trusted you, when he knew the promises, and he held his peace even in the midst of the most vile of circumstances. He could hold his peace. I pray, Lord, that we will be peacemakers, because you said, blessed are peacemakers, and our role is to be peacemakers. So please, Lord, help us to bring peace and to strive to keep the peace and to dwell with each other in peace and to advocate and pray for peace. In Yeshua's name. Amen. So let's just finish off. The days of Isaac were 180 years old. So Isaac breathed his last and died, and was gathered to his people. I love that phrase. Gathered to his people, being old and full of days. And look who was there. And his sons, Esau and Jacob, buried him. So we know Esau's a wrong one, and we know his family is a wrong one, and that's what's going to happen here. But at the death of Isaac at 180, they were both there. And I believe that's because Jacob made peace with Esau. And so just at least for the rest of their lives, there was a bit of peace on the manor. It's not going to last. It's not a peace that's going to last. It's a peace that's going to be blown apart in the last days when Edom and the whole confederacy of nations, read Obadiah, come against Israel to destroy them, like they've been trying to do throughout history. Never forget Herod, who sought to kill Yeshua, who wiped out the infants. Who was he? Herod was an Edomite. And Herod tried to kill Yeshua, and he couldn't kill Yeshua, so he killed all the kids instead. Edom is horrible. God said, I have loved Jacob, but Esau I hate. So let's love what God loves and hate what God hates. Amen. Shabbat shalom. And by night.